In this video, we'll be looking at how you can create qualitative maps, which are one of the types of infographics that are included in the SNO Infographics plugin. So if your school does subscribe to our Site Booster add-on, that includes the SNO Infographics plugin. So the first thing you're going to do once you're logged into the back end of your site is scroll down along the left here and you should see a tab for SNO Infographics. Once you click on that, go ahead and click Add New Infographic at the top of the page. As soon as you click on that button, you're going to be prompted to select the type of infographic that you want to make. The bottom two here have to do with maps, so you can either select a US map or a world map. I'm going to select US. And then you're going to be prompted to select the type of map that you want to create. So you have two options here. You can either create a qualitative map, which means your data would be word-based, or you can create a quantitative map, which is when your data would be number-based. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to create a map that shows which presidential candidate each state elected in the 2020 election. So if you think about what my data is, each state is either going to have voted for Trump or Biden. That data is word-based, so I'm going to go with the qualitative option here and click Continue. All right, so once you click on that, next you'll be prompted to enter an infographic title. So based on the description that I just gave, I'm going to title my infographic 2020 Presidential Elect by State. And I'm also going to title the data set. That's just the first field on top of this list of all 50 states that we have below here. So I'm just going to title it Winning Candidate. All right, so now I have all 50 US states listed here below in alphabetical order. So this is going to take me a second, but I'm going to quickly enter my data here. Again, I have two data terms that I'm going to be using, either Trump or Biden, and those are words, so that's why this is a qualitative map. So I'll go through this as quickly as I can. If you have a CSV file, you can use that and save yourself some time, but as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and do this manually. All right, so those are all of the states that voted for Trump. Now I'm going to go through the remainder of the states and enter Biden. And you could obviously have more than two qualitative outcomes here. If there was a third candidate, you can enter as many qualitative terms as you need that correspond with your data, but for mine, I only have two. All right, so that's done. So now I have created the infographic and I've entered all of my data. So now as we keep scrolling down on this page, now you get to play around with how the chart looks. So there are a few different tabs along the left here that allow you to edit different design components of the chart, and as you edit them, you'll get a live preview of what those will look like along the right here. So if I click into General, I can change the fill color. If there's a state that doesn't have data, maybe I can make that green You'll notice nothing changed here because all of my states have data, so that is a good sign. You can change the border color, width, and opacity. You can turn on state labels if you like. There's the option to change the label text color if you want to highlight your state when someone hovers over it. So you have all of these options here. Next, we have this section for overlays. The term overlay refers to this box that appears when you hover over a state. So I could customize the look of that if I wanted. I could change the background color, the border width, padding, radius, etc. You have all of these options here. One thing you do probably want to change, if we hover over this, you'll see that the label next to the candidate says My First Data Set. So I am going to update that label here just to say Winning Candidate. You'll see that's reflected now in the overlay on the right. The next section is for titles, so you can opt if you want a title for your chart to be visible and what you want that title to be. I'm going to grab the title from the very top here. I'm just going to paste it down here. Maybe I want to make it really large. And you could change the color and add a subtitle if you like. Finally, we can customize the legend, which in this case appears in the bottom left corner of my chart here. So I can choose if I want the legend to be on and if I want the title to be visible. Maybe I'll turn that title off as well as the subtitle, just so you can see which color corresponds to which candidate. And finally, at the bottom here, I can select the colors that I want to correspond to each candidate. So by default, my site assigned blue to Biden and this pink color to Trump, but maybe I want to change that. I think the blue is fine, but I want to make the pink more of a red, which is traditionally representative of the Republican Party. So I can just choose that color along my color spectrum here. And again, it'll update automatically on the right. So that's how you can create a qualitative map using the SNO infographic builder. And once you've done all of that, the last step is just scrolling to the top and making sure that you publish your map to save your work. If you have any questions throughout that process or run into any issues, as always, don't hesitate to reach out to us at SNO Support.